Welcome everyone to Fire Friday. And today I am on the stage. I'm the star. Usually I have a guest speaker with me. And today I'm in the hot seat because I chose to use this Friday session to introduce my book, The Courage to Fly, with my friends and supporters in the beloved tribe. So today I'm going to give you a little peek into the book, a little sneak peek. It's not yet published. It's not yet launched. This is a little advanced peek, and I would be so honored if you would give me and the people who support my book your honest on what I share with you today, your honest thoughts, so that we can make it even better if that's needed. Okay, so I'm going to go share the screen and start. Well, give me a minute. Hold on, folks. Aha, here we are. So, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Fantastic. So here we are, The Courage to Fly, a sneak peek for the Find Your Fire tribe. And The Courage to Fly is a book that's my target is, my mission in this book, I would say, is to inspire women of all ages to follow their dreams, reach for the sky, no matter what the world tells you. So that's the mission of this book, and that's the subtitle of this book. And there's a story behind why I decided to write this book. For many, many years, I mean, I know that you all are aware, or most of you are aware, that my major career was that of an airline pilot. I was the first female captain in Trinidad and Tobago. And I've done all kinds of other neat and exciting things in my life. And for years and years, people were telling me, Wendy, why don't you write a book about your life? And I was like, why? That writing bit, that's for my sister Donna. She's a really great writer. I'm busy doing stuff and I don't have time to write. In any case, I don't particularly like reading autobiographies myself. I'd much rather go and see the movie than read the autobiography. Sorry, but that's true. So I didn't really see any point in writing down my life when I was so busy living it, or writing down my life and then giving it to my family and nobody else would read it. So I just didn't bother. And then COVID happened, as we all know. And during that time, I exposed myself to a whole bunch of different courses and developmental stuff. And in those courses, a recurring theme was, what would you say to your 18-year-old self if you had a chance to have coffee with your 18-year-old self? And I kept hearing that question, and I realized that's an important question, apparently. And so I thought about it. I really thought about it. And when I did, the idea for this book was born. I'll tell you why. Because if my 18-year-old self had known then what I learned over many years of toil and struggle, I would have lived my life differently in the first part of my young adulthood. I would have not followed the rules as well as I did, not taken the advice of all the people who so lovingly gave me their idea of how I should live. If I had followed my heart, I would have achieved the things I achieved much quicker, much more easily. I might have been bolder, more adventurous. And that's the message I would give to my 18-year-old self. Is just listen to the voice within, follow your heart, and let the other people, for the other voices, just be background noise as you keep clearly on the path that you know you were born to live. So that was when the idea for doing this book now was born. And being Wendy, once I decide to do something, I do something. So in May this year, I joined a book writing course, not book writing, a book publishing course. And I started writing my book because part of publishing your book, you had to write it. I actually finished writing my book at the end of July, and we are working towards getting it published sometime in the end of September. So quickly done. Now, it's not a large book because it's not a full autobiography. I'm not trying to write my autobiography. If I wrote about my full life, I'm kind of old, it would be hundreds of pages. This is a very small book. It's just about 100 pages, 120 pages, all told cover to cover. And it is really created as an inspirational handbook for women and young people, but women of all ages, to help find the courage to follow their dreams. So it's not a very big book. It's not a long read. It's a very interesting, I hear, gripping. It makes me cry every time I read it. It's a very, it's a life book. It is my life book. It's a mini version. Every chapter in this book was chosen because of its relevance to the mission I have, which is to help women know that they can follow their heart. And I'm going to cry. Follow their heart and achieve their dreams if they believe. Starts with the belief. Then, of course, you have prayer for sure to support that belief. And you have a lot of hard work. But if you're following the path with heart, it doesn't feel like a lot of hard work. So that's my why. Anybody want to say anything, please feel free to jump in. I am game for that. And people on the Facebook, feel free to ask questions. I'll try to look across and catch your questions if you have any. Go ahead, who's that?
Wendy, it's Christine.
Hi, Christine.
Yes, I am the Dragonberry. What I have to say really very briefly is that, as always, I am so very proud of you. And yes, don't start crying because I will start crying too. I'm a weeping willow. But what I will say too is that I honor your path, and I honor the fact that you want to support other women in realizing their dreams. It takes a lot of courage to chase after your dreams, to follow the path that innately you know the path, you know, but because of all the other noises and people saying what you should and shouldn't do, so many people lose their way. So to you, I say congratulations again. You know that you have my support. I'm excited to hear some of this book so that I can start promoting it, because in this environment where there is so much negative news 24/7 on all the news media and social media, it's wonderful to be able to say, I have a friend who can give you advice that could help to transform your life. So congratulations again.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you so much. So with that, nobody could say anything as well as Christine in that area. With that, I'm going to introduce you to the book. As again, it is a handbook. It is a small book. There are 3 sections. The first section is called Butterfly. That is my journey. Goodness, I'm not sure I can do book readings on this, because it all means so much to me. I'll probably cry the whole time. That is my journey from a little girl who was told that she could not, to becoming a pilot. And in fact, it expresses some of the years of being a pilot. Then Eagle, when I became a captain, and my captain years. That's the biggest part of the book. And then the third part is called Hummingbird. And that hummingbird section is my life after flying, which is how most of you know me now and where most of you met me. And it is rich and full, but it's not, of course, the career that's going to be the one that inspires the people who read my book. But I'm hoping that taken in its entirety, women will see the journey is not ended. Wherever you are, the place where you are is exactly where you're meant to be if you're following a path with heart. And that when one door opens, another closes, another one will open. And it's all a rich, multifaceted, beautiful journey that we're all on. I should get tissues. Okay, so this is really good. It's good practice for me to know what I can handle. So I would like to start it off by sharing with you the prologue to the book. And hold on a second, let me get a little tissue going. The prologue to the book, which is the section, the couple of pages before Butterfly. Because I have to read it, I'm going to stop the share for the moment. And I have my camera turned off so that you guys don't see that I'm looking away from the screen so I can read the prologue. All right? Okay, so everybody please sit quietly, gently, relax. And I would love if you could close your eyes and just go with me on this journey. And if you want to cry with me, go ahead, that's fine too. Okay. It's 3 a.m. I am wide awake at 33,000 feet, suspended in velvet blackness, looking down at the sleeping world below. Around me are the quiet noises of a big jet airplane at cruise, multicolored lights, subtly dimmed, the gentle tremble of the metal giant powering through the night sky. We are about to cross the eastern seaboard and head out across the ocean in an almost straight line for the Caribbean and home. To my right, the first officer quietly responds to air traffic control, logging our progress through the skies. Straight ahead, we see the flash and fire of a distant thunderstorm. We'll need to ask for a deviation around that one. To the left, I catch my reflection on the cockpit pane, superimposed upon the dark skies. I gaze beyond and down at the sparkling city below, jewels in the blackness, and then at the shimmer of the moonlit sea ahead. I catch my breath because it's all so darn beautiful, so ethereal, that I feel this is as close to heaven as I can be and still be alive. In fact, and here's something I couldn't tell anyone while I was actively flying, but I can admit now that I'm retired, sometimes I felt as though I could happily die right there at 33,000 feet in the middle of the night, because I was in heaven already. My heart, my soul love these magnificent, magical night flights. My body, not at all. By the time I fall into my own bed, the sun will have been up for 3 hours, I will have been awake for 16, and at least 10 of these performing my duties as captain, staying alert, focused, responsive, and responsible through the night, while 150 passengers sleep, knowing that whatever happens along the way, all eyes look to me to save the situation. The buck stops here in the left seat of this jet. This job can be exhausting. It takes a huge physical and mental toll, and adjusting to the constantly disturbed circadian rhythms is hard for me. And yet, I would not trade my life as a pilot for anything. I love being a captain. I love that my office is the sky. I love going to work, strapping into a big jet and roaring off into the heavens. I love the beauty of this wonderful planet and that I get to see it from a whole new perspective. I love the challenges inherent in the job every single day. I love knowing that I've been trained to meet those challenges and that I have the skill and expertise to handle most of them, and the faith to believe that God will handle the ones that I can't. I love the people who work with me as a team to make each flight the best one possible. Sometimes I feel as though I'm the conductor of a talented and well-trained orchestra, each of us working in harmony to make beautiful music, a perfect flight. To be part of this experience is a privilege. I'm constantly amazed that I'm here, right here, living my dream. You see, this is the life I dreamed of as a 10-year-old Trinidadian girl when no one believed me. The journey here was long, full of hard work and sacrifice and some good fortune. And now those same people believe in me and are so proud of me. I am their Captain Wendy, the first female captain of BWI International, later Caribbean Airlines, Trinidad and Tobago's national airline. How did I ever get here? I wonder. Even as I look around the cockpit and thrill to the magic that runs through me still after all these years, it's a long story, and I am about to share some of it with you. Before I do, I ask that you give me your heart, your imagination, and your trust, because I will be sharing mine with you. No holds barred. For the first step in our journey together, I'd like you to write these words down. Dreams do come true. Okay. I am going to turn my camera back on. And you will see how hard that was for me to read. Anybody have any questions? Anybody want to say anything? Please do.
I love the velvet sky. I love your description. I felt as if I was there in the cockpit with you because as you probably know, and I think I've told you, when I was 17 years old, I applied to BB to become, well, yeah, I applied to BB to become a flight attendant. My father was absolutely against me flying. He said, those are maids in the sky, and you're a Mings, you can never be a maid. And so it's one dream that I was never able to experience. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And every time I fly, I'm the person who gets up all the time to walk up and down so I can feel like a flight attendant. I go chat with the flight attendants, and it's my way of getting that experience of what would have been. And I love the velvet night sky, and everything looks like jewels, and you have captured it perfectly, Wendy. Thank you for that.
You're so welcome, Christine. I'm delighted. Anybody else want to say something and give me a breather? Marina, Wanda, Maggie.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi.
I'm impressed by your descriptive writing. I can also hear your love and your passion for your job. It makes me want to read more.
Well, I'm so glad, because that's what it's supposed to do, but it's all true. As you can tell from my emotion, every word in this book is true and from my heart. And give you a little background on me. As my friends would know, I've been through my history, my whole career, my life, a really private person. And therefore, for me to do this is a huge step that I never saw myself doing. So once again, as one of my friends reminded me this week, she said, Wendy, you've not stopped showing the courage to fly, because everything you do is scary, challenging, pushing yourself beyond your comfort level and your boundaries. You're still doing it. It's not because of flying. That's what you do. She knows that I was never a social media fan. And now here I am, tribe mom, few hundred people, and I'm taking, doing as much engagement and caregiving with them as I can. I do online stuff, which I never wanted to do. I was always doing live, preferred personal touch to the online. But of course, the last 3 years, pushed all of us in that direction. But to share my life story is something I would never have thought I would be doing. And it's not something that is naturally easy for me, because I've always considered myself a private person. So this is a huge step. And to share this reading with you guys is a huge step. And I hope I get better at doing it, so I can do it in public when my book is launched without crying quite so much. But it's all heartfelt. And I think you know that. I'm going to have to run off for a second, get more tissues. Hold on. So stand by. Oh, in addition to that, sorry to leave the chair empty, but I had to get some more tissues. In addition to that, again, my friends who know that I'm very private and I've kept my life private, shared it with a few. They asked, how am I going to feel when this book is published if it's successful? Because everyone will know my life story, even though it's an abbreviated version. And I did say that, yes, I would feel, just the thought is terrifying, but I know that this is a book whose time has come, and this is something I'm being called and guided to do. And I've always followed that inner voice. That's the story of the courage to fly. So here I go again, and I'm following it. So guys, just be around me and give me courage and strength as I go forward, because I'm going into territories I've never thought I'd be in, but I know I need to do this book. And I know it's going to help change lives once it reaches the right people. I really believe that. So having said that, I am going to go back to the share screen if I can. And we have just, oops, not sure what happened there. Can you guys see my slide? Can you see the slide with Prologue?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
Thank you. I've just read Prologue, And now I'm going to let you choose, at least vote on, a chapter for me to read. Now, as I said, part one is butterfly. That's the journey from not being able to becoming a pilot and a jet pilot at BWIA. Part two is eagle. The chapters are varied. Not all of them are about flying. There's one about me hiking on Mount Everest, for instance, but the chapters are varied and all from the point of view of being a captain. And part three, hummingbird, is after captaincy. And I would like to suggest that you choose one from eagle, because then you'll have a huge jump from, well, let's hear what you guys vote. Let me not influence you. Can you give us give me a couple of suggestions? I'm going to read one more chapter.
When love is not enough.
Aye, aye, aye.
That's going to be hard for you.
That's one vote. Okay, keep going. There's 6 people. Let's hear some votes.
Adventures Unlimited.
Okay, keep going.
Never say never.
Okay. That's nice to laugh at something and not cry. All right, let's see if anybody in Facebook has anything, a choice of chapters. Oh, videos coming in. Anybody in Facebook has a choice of chapters? When love is not enough from Ilana. Oh dear. Okay. Ilana and Terry, that's a saddish one, huh? Okay. Anybody else? Penny, do you have a choice?
I chose When Love Is Not Enough. I was the voice that said it.
Oh, that was Penny.
Yes.
All right. Okay, guys. When love is not enough. Yeah. You all missed out all the adventurous ones. Okay. So I'm going to stop the share. Turn off my screen. That is not the one I would have chosen for you. Turn off my screen.
I think you should choose the one you'd like to read.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Never say never.
I like lessons from the scary stuff.
My Lord. Okay. Okay. Vidya, what do you choose? She just arrived. Wanda, what do you choose?
Hi, Wendy.
Hi.
I'll
Welcome.
have to get back to you because I missed all the good stuff. I'm just swirling in work and deadlines over here, but I had to join. And hello to everybody. So I'll get back to you by WhatsApp if that's okay.
No, you can't really. We're going to read a chapter now, and we're just asking what chapter
Oh.
people wanted.
Can you just pull it up for me then, please, for a second?
We can try.
Yep,
Can
and
you,
I'll tell you.
can you see it? No.
Not yet.
Okay, the chapters are Captain Wendy. Whoops. Oh. One more minute of choosing then, and then we'll go. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Let me just see. Mhm.
Can you see it?
Yep,
Like-
I'm seeing prologue.
Yeah.
So let's move on back. Oh, come on, play slideshow. Prologue. Here's the chapters. I'm choosing from Eagle. All right.
Okay, Eagle.
Eagle is when I became a captain and was a captain in the years of. All right.
Mhm. A Woman in a Man's World, perhaps, chapter 15.
Okay. All right. That's Vidya's choice. Anybody else want to make another choice, or shall we move forward? Okay. Stop share. Okay, so I'm going to turn off my camera so that again I can read, and so stop video. And again, I will ask you guys to just close your eyes and listen to the story, like bedtime story. And I will read When Love Is Not Enough, because it got the most votes. Okay, so this is the story of why I stopped flying. It's chapter 21, When Love Is Not Enough. Sometimes love is not enough. Life happens. Things change, people change, you change. When what you love is hurting you and you've tried every way you know to fix the situation, but it's still not working, at some point you realize that you have to let go. That's why in 2006, I hung up my wings for the first time, way before normal retirement age. Let me tell you why. By now, having read 20 chapters, you know how much I love being a pilot. What changed? I did. My body did. And so did the demands of the job. Taken together, the two didn't work so well for me anymore. You see, as the airline industry became more competitive over the years, flight crew schedules became more and more demanding. Flying through the night became the norm rather than the exception. I've never been a night owl. Missing a night's sleep, or most of it, has always been a challenge, even in my partying youth. Anyone who works night shifts will identify with prep sleeping during the day to power up for a full night at work, and then sleeping most of the next day to recover. The point is, daytime sleep does not provide the same benefits as nighttime sleep. The body doesn't recover as well or heal as well. Unlike other shift workers, our schedule had no regularity, so our bodies could not develop a pattern for rest and action. Studies show how important our circadian rhythms are for our well-being, and like many flight crew, mine were constantly being turned upside down. Sometimes I would fly 3 or 4 nights a week. Over time, the erratic schedule began to affect my health. I noticed, but I tried to ignore that my body, once strong, fit, and resilient, was taking longer and longer to bounce back from a red-eye flight. A deep-seated exhaustion would creep in that did not disappear until I got at least 2 full nights of rest. I found myself laid low by any little virus that came along with a simple cold, often turning into serious bronchitis. My husband was the first to voice concern. "Honey," he said, "I know you love flying, but do you realize you're getting sick all the time?" "Oh, no, I said in denial. "I'm just a little tired. I'll be fine." But I eventually became sick and tired of feeling sick and tired and listened to what my husband and my body were telling me. So at the end of 2006, I hung up my wings, as I said, for the first time. For the next 2 years, I enjoyed a whole different approach to life. How wonderful it was to be able to sleep uninterrupted every night in my own bed, not to mention how wonderful it was to enjoy quality time with my husband, dogs, and home. Gradually, I retained my health and resilience. Never one to sit around doing nothing, I began looking for something fascinating that might fill the void that flying had left, something that might engage and excite me going forward in my new life as a retired pilot. Then the phone rang. It was Caribbean Airlines, BWIA's successor. They needed some extra pilots for a while and invited me back on a short-term contract. My heart leapt. I said I would think about it. Think? Ha, no need. And I went to find my husband. He saw the joy radiating from me, the spring in my step at the very thought of flying again. So of course he gave his blessing. Oh, the wonder of returning to the airport, to ground school, to simulator training, and finally to flying the skies. The first time I sat in the cockpit, I felt as if I had never left. It was like coming home. I was back where I belonged. The first few months were wonderful. And then I started to notice that that old familiar feeling creeping back. I was becoming chronically tired from so many night flights. I took more vitamins. I spent most of my free time at home resting. But still, my resistance plummeted. And once again, I fell prey to any virus that passed through my airspace. What my body needed was regular sleep, deep sleep on a regular nightly basis, and my flying schedule made that impossible. By the end of this contract, I was more than ready to retire again. I couldn't wait to return to a life of daytime action and nighttime rest. But my heart, the heart of a pilot, was still hooked. So a year later, when the phone call came again, my heart leapt again and sang joyously within me. Yes, I raced back to Caribbean Airlines for another contract. Crazy? Yep, love can be like that. We go back in the name of love, even when it isn't good for our well-being. Once again, I experienced joy to be back in the cockpit. And once again, after 4 or 5 months, the same exhaustion. The message was clear. My heart still loved flying airplanes, but after so many years of flying, my body was in rebellion against the schedule. To face this realization was difficult. So over the next few years, I answered the call from Caribbean Airlines again and yet again, each time with joy and each time with the same results. I actually retired 4 times before I was finally able to let go of flying forever. But everything ends. Early in 2014, I flew that beautiful Boeing 737 jet for the last time. No fanfare, just a quiet departure from a career that I loved with all my heart. Was it hard? Oh, yes. Do I miss flying a jet? Always, and I always will. I lived my dream for almost 28 years, and I loved all of those years. But sometimes, even though we don't want to admit it, love is not enough. Not if it makes you ill or damages your well-being. This maxim is true in our relationships, and it was true for me with my beloved career. The time had come to move on, to put health and well-being at the forefront of my life, to create a new beginning. And at each chapter, folks, this is the end of the chapter, but at the end of each chapter, I have a message for the readers that is personal. And in this chapter, the message is, when something is gone, something better is coming. That's the chapter that you asked for. I'm back with you. Welcome, Farida.
Love it.
Yes. So
Love it.
I'm glad. Anybody else want to share? I'm really glad, Christine. Thank you. And
It's a beautiful chapter. It's a beautiful chapter on that time in your life. And I love the end words that you said, that when was it again?
When something is gone, something better is
something
coming.
better. I believe that, yeah.
And oh my goodness, I, being pig-headed, found it very hard to let go, but the message was very, very clear. It's just, it took me a while to accept it, as I guess we do when we love. And yeah. Anybody else want to say anything?
Me. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Maggie.
Okay, no, I was just thinking that this chapter resonates so much with me, because I think I'm at that point right now. So I'm glad for your message.
Oh, I'm so glad, Maggie. That's wonderful news. That's what I'm hoping will happen with all my readers, that they will find a message, and there's a message in each chapter that resonates with them and gives them some kind of hope, inspiration, courage to fly. And we have a couple messages on Facebook. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, Ilana says that's beautiful message. Rashmi says it's beautiful. Woman in a man's world is what Rashmi wanted. I just saw it, sorry. Chapter 15. Oh my goodness. So you guys want me to read something else? We are now finished time-wise. If I read anything else, you're in overtime. So do you guys vote for another chapter, or shall we say this was good and call it a day?
Wendy, I have to leave because I have an appointment to get to, but I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for the privilege of this time, first of all, but also in the last chapter that you read, I loved how you included the ambivalence, you know, that is a part of love and a part of any big stuff in our lives, big change in particular, that it is often not clear for a while which road we should take, you know, until things become uncomfortable enough. There's a pull back to what we love or loved. And so I really appreciated that part that you included, the 4 years. You retired 4 times, you know, before actually being able to let go. I thought that made it so, for me, that made it very meaningful, hearing that piece. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Penny. I'm so delighted to hear that. Okay, I'm so delighted to hear that. I hope and pray, as I say, every chapter in this book is a vignette from my life that hope that will resonate with someone who reads it, who needs that message at that time. I'm really excited about this book getting to the right people. I really think it's got value. And if I say so myself, and it means the world to me, as you can tell. Yeah. Okay. All right, so folks, let's call it a day. So I thank you all for being here. I am so grateful for you that you shared this big step for me and for your feedback. Okay, thank you so much. Many blessings.
Bye.